All right, let's dive in. Today, we're unpacking the future of education, which, let's be honest, feels like it's in a constant tug of war between technology and humanity, between systems and students. And to figure out where we're headed, we actually have to start by looking at a place where one of those futures went to die. So, what is this place? Well, let's just call it a digital ghost town. It was once imagined as the classroom of the future, but what it actually became? Wow. It tells us pretty much everything we need to know about the challenges we're all facing today.
So here was the dream, right? This was classroom20.com. Think back to the early days of social media. This thing was born, and it was buzzing. We're talking over 85,000 teachers from all over the globe, all working together on what learning should look like. It was supposed to be this incredible digital haven for educators.
But if you go to that website today, the dream is completely dead. Those amazing forums, they're basically digital ruins now. And they're just haunted by these spam posts. People offering to help you cheat on exams for a price. The whole idea of collaboration just rotted away into a black market for cheating.
You know, the story of Classroom 2.0, its collapse, it's really a powerful symbol for our own kind of broken hopes for education. It makes you stop and ask, okay, where did we mess up? And that question, that's what leads us to the first big idea, the first major force that's shaping this whole debate.
For a long, long time, one answer has been screaming the loudest: technology. This idea that we can literally engineer a better way to learn, that the ultimate solution is just a perfectly designed machine.
And look, this is not some new fad. You can draw a straight line from the behaviorist B.F. Skinner way back in the 60s, right through the Web 2.0 boom that gave us Classroom 2.0, and all the way to today with this massive push for AI in the classroom.
Skinner's idea was, well, it was pretty wild for his time. He truly believed you could engineer teaching just like a science. He called it the technology of teaching, and it was all about building a system for pure, raw efficiency. The goal was to treat the classroom like a machine you could tweak and optimize for the best results.
And don't think for a second this is just some dusty old idea. The top academic journal for educational technology, it has an impact factor over 6. Now, what does that mean? It means it's one of the most influential, most respected publications in its entire field. So yeah, that dream of a scientific, tech-driven classroom is more powerful today than it's ever been.
So what does the cutting edge of this look like right now? We're talking about actual robots helping out in the classroom. We're talking about multiple AI agents guiding each student's learning path. Oh yeah, the dream of that perfectly engineered classroom is definitely alive and kicking. But it's not the only dream out there. It has a very powerful rival.
So, let's flip the coin. On the complete other side of this debate, you have this powerful counter-argument. It's a movement that says, hold on a second. The most important piece of technology in any classroom, it isn't a computer. It's the human mind.
I mean, this headline really just says it all, doesn't it? Teaching is human work. Systems aren't built for that. That is a direct shot at that machine-first approach. The argument here is that learning isn't some system you can optimize. No, it's a deeply, fundamentally human thing, and it's all built on connection.
The big idea leading this charge is something called social emotional learning, or SEL. And what is that exactly? Well, author Marilee Sprenger puts it perfectly. It's basically using what we know about brain science to help students thrive, especially kids who are dealing with heavy stuff, trauma from things like poverty or abuse. It's about giving them the emotional tools they need to make it, not just in school, but in life.
So, forget optimizing systems for a second. With SEL, the focus is totally different. It's all about building real relationships between teachers and students. It's about developing empathy, understanding the real-world effects of trauma. And by doing that, you actually improve those core brain skills like executive function. It's a completely different playbook, right? The focus is 100% on the human student, not the machine.
Okay, so there you have it. The two big competing ideas pulling education in opposite directions. You've got the promise of the machine on one side and the power of the mind on the other. But here's the twist. Both of these big ideas are about to smash head-on into a huge new problem.
And what's that problem?
It's just the absolutely overwhelming flood of modern knowledge. I mean, we are drowning in an age of infinite information. And that creates a massive headache when it comes to a very basic question. What on earth are we supposed to be teaching kids?
Okay, to really get a feel for the scale of this, just look at this number. 166,000. That's how many researchers have their work archived at one single university. Think about that. Every single one of them is churning out new knowledge every day. It's not an expansion, it's an explosion.
And what kind of knowledge are we talking about? It's so specialized. At just that one school, you've got research on everything from nanotoxicology to construction safety to computational neuroscience. It's wild. So knowledge isn't just growing, it's fracturing. It's shattering into a million tiny little slivers.
And believe me, it gets even more specific. Get this. This is a real title from a real academic paper. Early generation breeding of male sterile lines in Highland onion. Not kidding. That's where we are. The infinite library of today has led us to become world-class experts on sterile onions.
So that's the problem, right? How do you create a curriculum out of this infinite, shattered library of information? Well, I came across this cookbook title, and I think it's just a perfect metaphor. It's called The Kitchen Commune. The idea isn't to make a million different super specialized dishes. No, the goal is to create meals that can heal and nourish everyone at the table, together.
And that, right there, is the core challenge for education today. How do we create a kitchen commune for the mind? A curriculum that can actually nourish every single student, even when knowledge is so fragmented. And grappling with that question, well, it brings everything we've talked about together for one last, really urgent debate.
Okay, so all these forces we've been looking at, this tug of war between the machine and the mind, between systems and humanity, between hyperspecialization and shared knowledge, all of it is now coming to a breaking point. And the thing that's forcing the issue, you guessed it, artificial intelligence.
The author, Sir Anthony Seldon, just frames the stakes perfectly with this question. Will artificial intelligence liberate or infantilize humanity? Think about that. Is AI going to free us up, let us be more creative, more human, or is it going to turn us into children, basically, doing all our thinking for us until we can't function without it?
The book's conclusion is, frankly, a pretty stark warning. It says, AI is coming. That train has left the station. So our job isn't to fight it. Our job is to grab the steering wheel and shape it, to make sure it serves human values. Because the warning is pretty clear. We might only get one shot at getting this right.
So, from the digital ghost town of those early online classrooms, all the way to the dawn of true AI, education is literally being rewritten right in front of us. The classroom is changing in ways we can barely imagine. And that leaves us with just one single question. Are we ready?